Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. So, let's see. Currently, as you can see, I have installed a mod, Atom KSP. Why? Because this shows me phase angles and ejection angles, which I don't even have the foggiest idea of where to start calculating them myself. I'm not sure if I can unless I know the solar north. I'd assume I'd have to figure that out somehow myself. But yeah. Well, I suppose I could calculate solar north somehow, but either way it saves me about 2 hours, 3 hours on Wikipedia. Alright, where was I? Right, I'm just starting out, hell. Why the hell do I lose my train of thought so fast, anyway? 149.25, crap, we actually have to launch right now. Terribly sorry. We launch in 3, 2, 1, now. I apologize for the hasty launch, but I am on a schedule. I actually have to launch at an ejection angle of 149.38. We slightly missed that, but that's okay. I can counterbalance with speed variance. So, I was given some handy numbers by some people, and I learned some things that were mistakes. Well, quotably mistakes on their part. Oh, well, crap. There goes this launch. Initialize full ejection. God, that's a lot of fuel going to waste. The worst part is it's not even the first time that's happened. It happens on occasion. If I don't steady the launch properly. Which I launched without the SAS on, because I was in such a rush, because I'm a dumbass. Oop. Well, there goes the landing legs. Good news is we didn't need those, because our parachute is fine. We should only need those on Eve if the atmosphere happens to not be quite as thick. Alright. Let's try restarting the flight. I really hope our ejection angle goes back a bit. Okay, the ejection angle is... Oh, holy crap, is it ever off. Ugh. Phase angle's perfect, though. Damn. Whoop. So I have to effectively wait out the phase angle. Because the phase angle, according to this, and from what I've seen, is mostly correct. Negative 54.13. Theoretically, though, I can use 54.13 if I reverse the ejection angle to be of a, what do you call it, positive instead of negative. He told me originally to use positive, but that would be assuming that I'm starting in an orbit. I'm not starting in an orbit, and thus I need to use the reversed format plus a certain amount because of the amount of time it takes me to get to the orbital height that I require. At least that's all theoretical. I haven't actually tried that yet. Yes, warning, this may induce epilepsy. Yeah, let's see, what do we got here? I got some notes here. So, I want to launch at 149.39. Sorry, not 38, 39, that's fine. When Eve is at minus 54.13 phase. Thusly, I should exit the solar system, or not exit, or exit Kerbal orbit at a ejection angle of approximately 155.5 at a speed somewhere around 3,000, which should, assuming my mathematics isn't too far off, get me close enough to Eve that I can at least use my space-bound engines to make some minor calibrations and adjustments there on my path over. Alright, so we're closing in on where we need to be right now, and that's effectively the math I've gone over. I just need something to give me the actual things. I don't want to have to calculate all that crap on my own. It's bad enough having to do advanced calculus just to play a friggin' video game. Seriously, who designed this? This is terrible. establishing solar orbit is so much easier, but it does require far more fuel. And although the last episode hasn't aired yet, since at the time of recording it hasn't aired yet, but by the time you're all watching this, it will have aired. So we're coming up now. Slow down. Shoot. I missed. Because I didn't click the right friggin' button. Actually, you know what? This might work. This might work. My launch angle is coming up on the approximate amount that I need, at least according to the original mathematics. So, you know what? We'll give the original math a shot. As far as I can tell, though, this is incorrect completely, because I'm actually shooting out during the night, which actually takes me into the wrong position. I think it does, at least. I haven't actually successfully rendezvoused with Eve in this manner, but we're working on it. It's a work in progress. I'll give the original math that the guy gave me a shot again. We're close enough, I think, that I can theoretically adjust it with my boosters when I escape Kerbal. If I calculated the phase angles properly with the other thing it said, I need to ensure that my periapsis is equivalent to... I should reach my periapsis at the point of Eve, is from what I could tell. So far, I've never actually gotten that close. Don't touch anything. Perfect. Boosters on. Okay. Yeah, but the math behind this is exceedingly complex, and especially for someone who has never actually taken a calculus course. I understand it enough now, after like a little while, but how anyone's supposed to figure this out without taking a calculus course, I had no idea. Prerequisites to play this game. Calculus. Good God. Alright. Whoop. Alright. Boosters dropped. People tell me do a gravity turn, yada yada yada. Establish orbit first. I can't do that. This ship is physically incapable of doing that. I can't do anything about that until I separate this stage. This stage, if I so much as turn off more than like 2 to 3 degrees off this damn axis, this thing will just come apart. It will explode. Only once I set up to the upper stage, once I separate these couplings, and I just have this stuff, can I do gravity turns. But the problem is, by that time, my apoapsis has already left the atmosphere, and I'm already over 50,000, give or take. So there's no real point in trying to gravity turn and save fuel at that point. The ship is physically incapable of it. I designed it to be able to go to another planet, and that means haul something really heavy out of the atmosphere. Side effects sadly include that I'm more or less incapable of doing gravity turns. It's not that I necessarily don't like them, and I had that in mind when I designed this. I don't normally do gravity turns, because although they might be more fuel efficient, I don't know. I've never come up with a good reason. They're really hard, really annoying, and involve doing far more math than it's worth. Whereas, if I just, establish effective launch patterns, such as aiming for minimus when it's rising, or whatever, rather it's setting. That's for people who know that when I've made it to minimus. And the other problem with doing that is then, while I'm just shooting out there, I can adjust my speed as needed and make de facto decisions. That's kind of how I end up running this, is I make de facto decisions on, on the fly on where I need to, whether or not I need to increase or decrease my speed. Overall, I reach the same target destination for less fuel, and it's a bit more of a video game and less of a math simulator that way. I'm sure people will complain. Gotta keep the SAS off, otherwise it'll flip out. I honestly don't know if it still will. I haven't let it do that for God knows how many times now. Yeah, re-enabled the SAS properly, it looks like. Okay. I haven't lauded the SAS control over that stage for like, God, I don't know, 20 flights now. Just because it's not worth trying. Okay, so the Kerbal apoapsis is increasing. So, theoretically we can make it... No, I don't want to go out there. Theoretically, according to the original math given to me, at my periapsis, which will be around here, I should meet up with Eve. We have a reasonably off phase angle, though, because the numbers never seem to line up. I'm sure if you do the math, you realize the numbers only ever perfectly line up to the math given to me once every 20 to 30 years or something. Due to solar cycles and orbits and all that crap, I can't possibly even begin to calculate that. I'm sure someone in the comments who is better than me at calculus and has taken courses on calculus can tell me all this. But effectively, other than waiting several decades for a launch window, I'm gonna make I made some of my own calculations and tried to figure it out, and we're launching slightly off from what I want, would want if this were my math. I usually, no matter what math I use, so long as, you know, the phase angle and the ejection angle are generally incredibly close, I pretty much always almost end up there, and once I'm out there in the solar orbit, I can from there adjust my speed. And, you know, bring in my periapsis so it touches it. At least that's the plan. This is my first time trying that. I've done only a couple of attempts at this so far. I am by no means an expert. This is actually incredibly complicated stuff, and I respect anyone who can actually do this with, you know, reasonable assertions on their math, and reasonable ability to get this accurate. And their only reason for failure tending to be more so related to the game and engine, as opposed to their own math. The game engine for me so far has been fine, it's just my mathematics is a little on the failing side. Because, like I said, I'm not a math major. But yeah. So I guess that's the math behind this attempt, and I'm sure given time, if somebody wants to really create a chart, please, for like launching to all the other planets, for me that would be amazing. Though keep in mind that you will need to add a ejection angle of about 4.37 and reverse the ejection angle, because I will be launching. I will not be establishing an orbit. If somebody wants to do that for me, that's great, and I'll give them a shout out every time I damn well use their chart. That would be amazing, but I'm probably going to end up creating my own as I do this. Realistically speaking, I guess I can calculate what the angles need to be because of the difference in the speeds. Because Kerbin's moving about 1,000 slower, at about 5,000 slower, so I would assume that we can take that, multiply it by 5. If Moho were to be about right here, then I would launch to the periapsis. It would probably make a whole friggin' orbit and then come around to me. But, just theory. Oh, whoops, I completely forgot to eject those tanks. Crap, that's actually going to slow me down and cause problems. I'm babbling too much. Alright, so we are now on the solar collision. As you can see, we've got the sun periapsis, which needs to be brought in. And when it meets Eve, theoretically that's our meetup point. Alright, I think, yeah, we overdid it just a bit. Shoot. SAS disabled. At this point, it's actually very easy for me to manipulate where my periapsis is in comparison. That's something I've now learned. So if I want to establish a solar orbit, I can do it in a much more fuel-efficient manner now. Good God. I overcompensated for... No, wait, no I didn't. I don't know why I was trying to get on the 270 mark. I need to go to the mark here and slow down. Ugh. Come on, come on, come on. This thing's still a little hulky, I guess you can say, without having deployed the last stage. So, let's be very cautious, and... Perfect. So theoretically we're going to meet up there. We'll see though. at this point, the only thing left to do is wait. Alright, so we are in orbit around the star. Alright, so our periapsis seems to have fallen off a little bit from where it was originally. That's okay. And that's very dealable. I just need to slow down a tiny bit and bring in the periapsis. It'll cost a little more fuel to do it right now, but apparently I can't necessarily to 100% trust. Goddamn overcompensations. With this stupid stage attached, it's so bulky and hard to control. Anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna probably make some de facto speed changes as we get closer to the periapsis. Alright, there we are. Alright, that's the fuel tank out. So we don't go too far here. Eject. We ejected that, right? No, we did not. Okay. Check. Alright, so that needs to go pretty much... There we go. It's on the freaking money, I think. But we're still a little high. We'll see what happens. This is mostly just a test run, I guess. And now something that you'll notice is is that Eve is going to, pull ahead of us slightly, and we're going to catch up to her. At least in theory, because we're picking up speed at a really quick rate. Yeah, I think we've botched it. Alright. What happened? Oh god, we've lost an engine. The Space Kraken attacks. Well, there goes probably any chance of... No, we have one engine. Sorry. We have one engine. We've lost two. Well, there liably goes any chance of me being able to properly control the vessel, but we'll see what we can do. In the hell, we're out here. No point in stopping now. I need to try and increase my speed enough to catch up with Eve. Right now we're only going about 300 quicker. Can I put it on like minimum possible fuel? And maybe ascertain some form of control? The SAS was overcompensating. I had to stop it. Before it just shot around the globe and turned me into an eternal spin craft. Well, at least it wouldn't be as bad as the time that the game was glitching out on me and causing my rocket to spin. So yeah, looks like we've lost a couple engines to the Space Krakens, but I'm optimistic that we can still somehow control this thing. I'm trying here. Alright, so... theoretically, minimum power. Okay, the SAS can handle that. How much power can I give it before the SAS loses control? Yep, okay. So that's how much power I've got to work with. Ugh. Yeah, we don't have an encounter point, really. We're just gonna... You know what? I give up. We're just gonna see how close we ended up. Said we're actually still traveling faster and may in fact even get closer to Eve here, but nah, at this point I think we're out. But yeah, that's effectively the math behind it. We might have actually been able to do something there if we didn't lose 2 engines to the Space Krakens. I could have, I still had full tanks on those. I could have done something with all that fuel I originally used to establish solar orbits. But yeah, this is interesting. It's probably going to take me at least 20 or so attempts at this rate to, even get close. So I think just eventually I'll bring you guys in whenever the heck I successfully pull off the mathematics behind this, and, you know, get lucky enough. The thing is, the numbers just don't line up properly, so I always have to be a little off, or, you know, I always have to be either a little off or wait 30 some odd years for a launch. It's not happening. So the numbers will have to be slightly off, which means I have to make de facto speed changes, and we'll see. We will see. So, until next time, this is Kelvin signing off.